4 years is like a long-term plan, but like I think I could do it sooner. I'm pretty consistent with what I know I can hit in a meet, so if I know something's there, I'll take it.
You're kind of in a fucked position now, though, right? Because you hit all those things.
Yeah,
So how do
I would say like actually last year after the showdown, I was very much like in a spot where I'm like, oh, fuck, like what now? Like I don't have a big goal. Like mentally, it was kind of hard for me to like. I was going through the motions at the gym. Like I would go to the gym because I still love lifting and everything, but it was hard for me to like really push myself. Like I did hybrid earlier this year, so that was the first meet after 1K, and I was kind of just like, I don't know, I was just like, I'm just going there to collect a check, like win. I don't really care what I total as long as I win. And then started kind of because I was kind of just like, I don't know what the next like big number I want to hit is. Like it took a while to get to like 2204, or like I thought getting to 2204 was going to be like pretty hard, and I was like, oh man, going to 2300, like that's a big jump. But I kind of thought about it. I was like, all right, I think if I could hit like that at 198, then I'll be very satisfied at 198. And then now my big goal is so Ed Cohen's 220 record is I think 2405, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to hit that at 220 as a raw lifter. So I think between like 24-hour weigh-ins and a deadlift bar, it's pretty comparable. So
how's that play into the 198 though? Because you still have a goal there, right?
yeah, so I want to hit the 2300 at 198 and then commit to moving up to 220.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't want to ask your time frame because then that's putting too much shit out there, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say the total time frame for all of it, right? That way nobody knows, right? Maybe even going 275.
I don't think I'll ever go 275.
4 years.
I don't know, because like moving up a weight class really helped my total.
Yeah.
So, like I think like yeah, like 4 years is like a long term plan, but like I think I could do it sooner. At this point, I'm pretty consistent with what I know I can hit in a meet. So if I know something's there, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like I'm 14 weeks out now from a meet, and if I have like a really good training cycle, I think I could go like 782, 600, then pull. I'd probably throw on what I need to try and hit 2300 if I feel like there's like a 25% chance I'll hit it. Because missing a squat and missing a deadlift at the end of a meet, I feel like are very different. Because
What do you mean?
at least for me, or like for me, like missing a squat at the beginning of a meet, kind of just it's a lot more like harder to come back from, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like a deadlift at the end, it's kind of like, I gave it a shot.
Yeah. Sometimes I think too when you miss a squat, you tend to like tweak something in the process.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like a deadlift, it's just like, oh, like
it's over.
Yeah. Like with something like that, I'm either gonna like barely get it to my knees or like get it to my knees and then I'll lock it out. So it's if I miss it, it's not gonna be very taxing on my body.
By the looks of it, your mentality of working that first 4-year plan, or we'll just call it a quadrennial, right? Because it's programming language is quadrant. Your mentality hasn't changed as far as how you approach each meet and the numbers for the meet.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that's changed is you had to come up with this different
it's I guess
goal, I guess.
The whole philosophy is just steady, consistent progress.
Well, and being realistic.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Right. That's a huge one that I think you do extremely well. You know, that most others do extremely terribly.
Yeah.
Terribly well. They're fucking awful.
Yeah.
Right. Where even, you know, the last video you posted was 10 weeks out, but you said it's not really 10 weeks out because you're going to do it different.
Yeah.
Right. Different meet where you know exactly where you are. Right. You know exactly where you should be. Yeah. This is another thing that I think people miss, that I'm going to try to have you explain how you know this, right? So you know at 6 weeks out you should be X strong.
Yeah.
So let me step back. You know what numbers you want to try to hit.
Yeah.
but then you also know what numbers you could realistically hit, and then what numbers would be the worst to possibly hit.
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
So they're all there, right?
Yeah.
And then you know at 4 weeks out you should be X,
Mm-hmm.
6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, probably all the way to how far out? Like 16 maybe.
I usually like start kind of prepping like 12 to 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the last video you made, it was basically saying, look, the squat's a little off. It's an injury thing.
Yeah.
But that may come. We'll see how things work.
Yeah. The 660, like it moved a lot better than I thought it was. So that was kind of like mentally like, okay, like as long as there's no setbacks, I feel like I can get at least back up to
Yeah.
like maybe not like hitting that 782 that I think I need for 2300, but maybe a small PR.
But you know what I'm saying? You know, and the bench, it's, you know, in a weird spot, but it's there.
Yeah, bench is always kind of one of those ones that like when I add in like one last compound at the end, that kind of bumps up to where it needs to be. So it's kind of a little bit harder to judge, especially this cycle. I'm using a little bit actually less than I normally do. So we'll see. Like we'll see if it comes on once I switch to like that compound.
Oh, I got it. So then the deadlift is ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So moving forward, does that kind of mean that you pull back on the deadlift training just a tad? Or does your mind go, well, hell, if I did that, I should probably be able to do 950?
No, I'll probably just take what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'll push it like too far. Like maybe if let's say like I'm going into it and I'm like, okay, I want to hit like 903. If I'm like deadlifting, I'm like, okay, maybe like training's kind of like showing me that maybe like 920 or whatever the number is would be there. Maybe I'd go like 910, 915. Mm-hmm. Something where maybe it's a little bit above the plan, but something I'm very confident I'll hit still.
So it's the question is, how do you know you're where you're supposed to be?
Just plenty of years, and I always like kind of look back like when I'm starting to hit my, like I hit a lot of singles in my training going into a meet, and they're always kind of at the gauge of like where I'm at. And I'll like at like 12 weeks out, I'll hit my first, or I'll look back and be like, okay, 12 weeks out of my last meet, I hit 518 for my first bench. Like if I can hit like 523 or 529 this day, then like at the same point in the training at like about the same speed, like I know I'm doing better, or at least like in a good spot.
Yeah.
So
now what if it's under?
If it's under, then I got to kind of figure something out. Maybe I'll like try and see if there's like any other like factors that are like causing me to be like off. Like maybe like I just moved, so like stress from that and stuff like that. But if that's the case, then I'll pull back a little bit and just see if like I kind of ramp up those singles, and maybe I'll pull back and like start ramping up. And if like the strength comes back, then I'll try and get back to those numbers that I should be hitting.